time it is. Welcome to the C Squared Hour. We are the Chris's. He is C, the reason your girlfriend was knocked up while you were in jail.
And he is Squared, the reason that we can't do this podcast within 1,000 feet of a school zone.
So, this is episode 3. How you feeling so far?
Okay, first of all, I'm really excited to see how many people have listened so far. I'm sure a lot of them know us, but some fucking random guys out there are listening.
Right. I've seen random comments and shit like that, so that's pretty cool.
Dude, this shit is real. People are fucking listening. This is just some dumb thing we were doing, and
I was a little worried after the first episode. We just got 3 sheets of the wind, but no. Apparently, what was one of the comments I saw? Oh, these guys are ridiculous but hilarious.
Thank you.
I think that was, and
whoever said that, thank you.
Yeah, they know exactly what the show is all about. Right. That's kind of who we are.
I hope nobody thinks we're planning on, we're trying to be serious. It's certainly not our intention.
No, I mean, we are completely satirical, and if, something happens to, I was on the Russian thing, 10 years before, we started hating the Russians again, but it was all satirical, and all of a sudden it turned out to be true, so that may be what happens. But no, I appreciate everyone listening. Before we get real started, I want to give a shout out to our good friend Ryan Forney.
Skin.
Recommending Kokanee Gold, and like his comment on Instagram, he was right. It was sold out everywhere I went, so I wasn't able to get it. But no, we will definitely within the next couple episodes, we will definitely be checking that out.
The next couple was going to take us 2 weeks to find a case of Kokanee Gold. Let's put ourselves to a higher standard. I
mean, in this area,
I'm finding a case of gold next week. That's my fucking C Squared guarantee. We're drinking Kokanee Gold next week.
No, but we definitely appreciate the recommendation, and go ahead and reach out with any more. We're not blowing him off. We just couldn't find it. So, what are we drinking today? Looks like
the Kona Brewing Company from Kona, Hawaii.
Oh yeah, I did get the variety pack, 2 IPAs as well as a lager and a golden ale.
Yeah, right now I'm drinking the Big Wave Golden. It's just fucking pretty good beer.
Yeah, I got the Longboard lager right now. Beforehand, I drank both the IPAs, which were pretty good. Again, not a huge IPA guy because I'm not a dark beer guy because I drink to get drunk, not to, enjoy.
I have a great relationship with my dad, so I don't drink IPAs. But
you see, I don't have a great relationship with my mom, so I need to drink quick.
So you drink to get drunk.
So what did we want to? Going off. Obviously, we're turning this into a weekly bit, and obviously, it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, but goddamn, do I love it. Rather than giving an official endorsement this week, we are going to do something a little deeper.
We're bringing it back. We want to give a shout out to the mid to late '90s, a band from Seattle, Washington called Harvey Danger.
Basically, not our favorite band, but C Squared itself is Harvey Danger is the favorite band.
Number 1.
So everyone go out there, find them on iTunes, find them wherever you are. Let's get Harvey Danger back trending. Let's get them back on the boards again. They definitely deserve it. Flagpole Sitta came out, and they, that went huge.
Outside of that song, the album, Where Have All the Merrymakers Gone, front to fucking back, great album.
Exactly. Yeah, they did not get their due. So let's get them their due and see if we can't get get me, at least a couple concerts, if not a tour, back going on.
Yeah,
so.
I'm pretty sure they're all alive, and I think they still might get together.
They were post-heroin 90s, right? So
they weren't post-heroin 90s. I mean, they came out post-heroin.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
The whole album is about heroin.
Or was it? Are you thinking Marcy Playground? Because theirs was too.
That was too.
Okay.
But
anyway.
Listen to them both.
Right, yeah, Marcy Playground's fucking awesome too.
You can go back to both of those good 90s bands.
Right.
Late 90s. Heroin was out. They were still in. That's cool.
Right. Yeah, no, they wrote about their heroin days, but they seem to be post-heroin band.
I guess they did live through it, so they must have not still been...
I mean, really, Scott Weiland was kind of the last of that kind of 90s real heroin.
I don't know. Chris Cornell died like 4 years ago from an overdose. So.
No, he was He was.
It was Xanax and opiates.
No, that was a suicide. By the neck. The whole. I mean, I've heard. I've heard a very famous comedian say that he is under the impression that he was trying to catch a choke jerk, but
okay.
But no, it was definitely. It was.
Can we just
by the neck?
Take this chance. C Squared definitely endorses the buddy system. Entirely when it comes to erotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, I mean, even if like you need them in the other room, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like they don't have to be watching. If someone else is holding the belt. I get that. Like it isn't quite the same, but yeah, somebody.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to be watching, but make sure they're within earshot. Because sometimes the lemon doesn't always work.
Like, I guess hold your breath as long as you can, and then add another 60 seconds to that, and that's your amount of time that your buddy needs to, if they don't hear a knock on the wall, they better fucking come and see what's going on.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely, buddy. Again, people... I think people get worried because they think the buddy system, like, they have to be watching. And, no. I'm saying there's ways around that. Yeah. So
brighter minds have figured this out for you now.
Right.
You've heard this.
So be safe when you're catching a choke jerk. So that's all I wanted to say. So really, beyond that, I just wanted to toot my own horn a little bit.
Toot away.
With the my draft why can't I think analysis about Joe Burrow, within 2 days after we recorded that, they announced that every eligible LSU offensive player was signed to an NFL roster.
Yeah, first time in history.
Which means
that guy's not that good.
100% right.
Yeah.
Or he may be that good, but I'm just saying, we don't know. He's not the surefire that everyone's trying to say.
Okay, I'm gonna. We were just watching some old football earlier. I'm gonna compare him to Bernie Kosar. I'm gonna, it's good, not great.
We'll see. I'm just saying.
He'll have a career. I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be good.
That's good, and
or even amazing.
I don't want to go too much into kind of the sports end of this because we killed a lot of the last episode doing that, but
sorta. We were supposed to. We had this whole itinerary of sports to talk, right. And then we fucking
didn't get
talked
to
about coke and strippers the whole time.
Which it's probably going to happen quite a bit if you keep listening. But anyway, they announced Chicago's not picking up Trubisky's 2021 option. I think they're either not sold on him, which I think is bullshit, because he had an off year last year, but led him to the playoffs the year before, so they're maybe waiting for this year, or I could see him ending up on the Pats. He seems like a Belichick kind of guy.
Now, it's interesting you bring that up, because going back to the old argument, was Brady that good, or did Belichick bring that team together? And is a guy
we'll find out this year too,
who we know he's got an arm, he's mobile, he's athletic.
Well, he's definitely like raw talent. He's definitely way more talented than Brady. Like if you just look at the physical talent part of it, yeah.
So that's not the craziest of. I mean, who else? Like, that New England isn't riding with current personnel.
Who they have? Brandon Hoyers?
Yeah.
They're
No.
current...
Go on. I'm going to tell you here in a second.
That's another thing we're going to have to figure out is make sure we have Google up the whole time. But no, I think the NFL has kind of gotten into this, and maybe I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt more often, but I think people are a little too quick to with the hook in the NFL. Like, now, last year all of a sudden Trubisky's the worst quarterback of all time when they were in the playoffs the year before, and they were they were within a field goal of 3 posts away from winning that game.
Right. Jarrett Stidham, by the way, is who New England has now.
Is Hoyer on the roster?
I think he was last year.
Okay.
I don't know where he is.
I'm saying Hoyer's in my head for a reason, and I'm not usually wrong.
I think at one point he was backing up Brady.
Fair enough.
No, I'm not real high on Trubisky. I know you are, but
I'm not
high. But I know I'll say you're higher on him than I am.
Right. I'm not. I'm higher than a Chicago fan who thinks he should get run out of town like he's Jesse Smollett or whatever.
Look, he got one of the best defenses in the league. I know they were in the playoffs once with him.
That was his third year.
His second year was his good year. His third year was a down year. I don't know.
But, we'll see. I'm just saying, your rookie year, I think he got hurt in his rookie year. I don't know. But anyway.
Fucking NFC North, who gives a shit?
Rodgers is going to end up on the Jets.
Right.
Green Bay, is going to show that, this is just Green Bay's colors. You draft a new guy, you send the other one off.
Rodgers is going to prima donna his way to getting a trade to the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones is going to way overpay to get his contract. Because they
signed Andy Dalton to light the fire under Prescott's ass.
So why, if they were going to do that, then why wouldn't they do something crazy like get Aaron Rodgers in 2021?
That's a fair point.
This is Jerry Jones we're talking about.
That's true.
He does boneheaded shit.
That's true.
This is the guy that I think it was like week 15 of Dak Prescott's rookie season when they were just tearing it up that he said, we still might go with Romo.
That's right. That's right. If he gets healthy, you're right.
Like, fuck.
Which maybe just say that to appease maybe just say that to appease Romo. Like, hey, look, hey, we understand you did a lot for us,
Yeah.
So it could have been just
kind of a lot. He got him to the playoffs a few times.
But he did this whole not automated draft, but the draft they did for the NFL, satellite draft.
That's it was a virtual satellite.
He did it from a fucking yacht. Let's be honest. Like, that's who Jerry Jones is.
By the way, I want to say I like Tony Romo as a guy. I think he's all right. I just fucking hate the Cowboys. So
yeah. I don't know. This is probably an episode for a different day, or for a different episode. But there's a part of me that he's played in a couple of the lower level professional golf tours.
Oh yeah.
On sponsors exemptions, and that bugs me. So, I'll go into that a little further because VJ. You know what? I'm going to go into that right now.
Fucking A. I was going to say, what's stopping you, dude?
Because this week VJ Singh.
Fuck, it's not like we have a real schedule, dude. We wrote this shit on a notepad. It's not even a full size notepad, right. Guys. This thing's like 6 inches by 4. This is a half size notepad.
This is basically what the show is. 6 inches by 4. Hi-oh. Anyway,
as much as you might be entertained, I promise you, we are way more entertained with ourselves.
No shit. That's one thing you're gonna realize. We love us some us.
All right, break me off with Tony Romo on these golf tournaments.
And Steph Curry's the same thing, and John Smoltz. It was announced that Vijay Singh, who is a long-time PGA Tour player on the Champions Tour, is basically gonna, because the Korn Ferry Tour, which is kind of the minor leagues, was the Nike Tour, was the Web.com Tour, basically where you try to, the minor leagues of the PGA Tour.
Sure.
He's going to play in an event there, Vijay Singh. So basically what he's doing is he's taking a spot away from someone who's trying to make a living out there when he has, he doesn't need it.
A real golfer who's out there.
Well, not necessarily a real golfer. I'm just saying, it's the argument is like, oh yeah, they're taking a spot from a guy who's on the lower level, but that could be his week. Right. He has a good week there. He's on the tour next year. He qualifies with just one win. And so you're taking that spot away. And Romo kind of bugs me because he has done that. But
sure.
That's all. I mean, that's just that's kind of my sporting political.
No, I'm good with that.
But
I don't totally agree with it, but I get where you're coming from.
I mean, he got fined for helping a lady change a tire and being late to a
right.
So I mean, it's hard to not like the guy. But so was there anything else that came up with the draft? I mean, Dalton got signed. That's basically, we'll see what happens.
Tell you what, I'm going to take this a different direction, but I just want to say how fucking jealous I am that you got called to jury duty.
No shit. Well, before we get into that, real quick, I just want to say that the feedback has been heard from our first show.
Oh, right.
So we know the room right now doesn't sound the best. We are in the process of fixing it, and that's fine. But, however, I heard the sound wasn't the biggest annoyance. It was that I live too close to the airport to hear airplanes going over. So that was the biggest thing. But yeah, beyond that, we've heard them everything. Yeah, this is the third time in 15 years since I've been eligible to do it. I've been called for jury duty.
Yeah.
My father never been called for jury duty.
I know. I haven't either. It blows me. I don't know why you get called so much, and obviously COVID might fuck this thing up, but
that's what I hear.
I'm called for you to get on that jury.
I'm called for jury duty in June. Rumor is in our neck of the woods, jury trials are suspended till July 1st, which is another thing. If we want to get into this, I think it's bullshit. There's people in jail right now waiting for a trial.
Sure.
And you're suspending, jury trials, because it seems like a speedy trial thing. It seems like a constitutional thing. You think they should be, they think.
Well, now this is something that before COVID, I'm sure every one of those people signed off.
Real quick, you want to grab me another,
sure.
Either the big wave or the longboard.
Not that fucking one. Not that fucking one.
You're on the wrong side of the box, bro. There we go.
Yeah. All right. So a little criminal science for everyone. When you get arrested and charged with a crime, they come to you within the first 30 days after being charged in your incarceration, and they give you an opportunity for a speedy trial. Now, the prosecutor is going to tell you something like, well, you should sign away those rights to a speedy trial, or your defense attorney, I should say, might also be the one to say sign away so that we can take more time to get ourselves together, to find witnesses, or maybe it's just to kind of hope the prosecutor comes through with a better deal. So I'm going to say this probably happens in 95% of American legal cases all over the country, is people sign away their right to a speedy trial. So technically, those guys sitting in jail right now sign that right away. Now, we can argue the merits as to whether that's bullshit or not, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, there's that whole thing. And it's just, imagine being innocent and sitting in jail.
I can imagine being innocent.
No, you can't. You've never been innocent of something you've been accused of.
I have.
All right, if you know.
Broad strokes, buddy. Broad strokes.
But just imagine, like, okay, your trial date is June 23rd.
Yeah.
Like, oh nope, they're suspended until July 1st, and you're just sitting there like, what the fuck? It seems wrong to me. I don't know.
I'll tell you what it is.
I mean, if you do business, by satellite, why can't you do a trial by satellite?
This is beneficial to people with money because they've bonded out of jail.
Right.
And the longer you can push your case off, the more it becomes in the prosecutor's interest to just close it out and offer you the deal that you want. So once again, the black man gets fucked in the legal system.
Well, and then there's the whole thing where you're more likely to take a deal if you're stuck in jail rather than outside.
Absolutely.
If you're bailed out, you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'm at home.
Also, everybody knows how well a jury looks at you when you're in fucking County Orange scrubs.
No shit. Well, I forget what it was. There was it might have been Making a Murderer or whatever, but where they talked about, how come they get how come the county has to pay for them to get a tie or whatever, just so they don't. No, it was Paradise Lost. The 3 kids who were accused of something that were basically innocent just got railroaded because they were Metallica fans. All three parts are on HBO. I would definitely recommend it. The first part, like early to mid 90s. Second part was late 90s, it was just, they were all pissed off. Why do our tax dollars have to go to them having wearing a tie to court? And it's like they should look like that they're in jail. Like, no, they shouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we've been sold this bill of goods about tough on crime, and that's like, dude, tough on crime. We show the statistics more and more that recidivism rates are much higher with people that spend time in jail surrounded by other criminals, getting indoctrinated with other criminals. Like, you're learning, first of all, the criminal mentality. You're learning violence is a way of life if you're incarcerated. Like, how do you expect that you're going to send a young kid at, let's say, 18 to 21, you send them upstate for a few years where other kids are in college. Now you're going to send this kid off to go be around a bunch of drug dealers,
college, or what is that? What it is? Convict college?
Yeah.
Yeah, clown. I don't know. I've heard a bunch of names. I watched Lock Up, so I know what's going on in the prison system. So anyway, get called for jury, and it's been annoying. I mean, minus the fact that I've had a real job. Both other times I've gotten called for jury duty, and I can get out and work. And
one time where you've got a good chance to go sit.
Well, both the companies didn't want me to get the note that said I went to jury duty. So I was like, oh, your call number's up there. It's like, I don't want to go to work today.
Sure.
But it's just, if I'm going to get called down there, if I'm going to have to sit through the whole fucking thing, I may as well fucking sit on a jury and I never get chosen.
Wouldn't you want to sit on a jury and be that fucking ringer, that one time where you can just let that guy walk who deserves a free shot? Yeah, you might have broke a law, but Christ, somebody in life needs to believe in this guy, and you could be the first one.
And you know what? If you listen to this long enough, I am very much a contrarian. Like, I will argue any side of the coin, no matter how much I believe in it.
Oh, yeah.
Most
frustrating guy you've ever fucking been around. I can tell you that.
Argue me for 2 hours. I'm like, oh, no, I agree with you. I don't believe anything I just said, but here are the arguments.
In fact, that's what I love about this fucking podcast. I finally get the opportunity for the millions
and millions
to back up my arguments. Because I believe if we had more ears around our debates, people would side with me.
But I'm also going to say that a lot of our debates, I agree with you. I just like arguing.
This is true.
Arguing,
So, true.
And which is why I'd be great on the jury.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, he's guilty. There's all this, but they didn't find the fingerprints. Yeah, DNA's there. Yeah. the camera's there, but you would think there'd be fingerprints too.
Sure.
So, let's look at this.
Fingerprints. That guy has 2 hands.
And if he doesn't, then you got a whole nother.
Shit. Shit.
He's robbing a place with nubs. You really think gas station You really think a gas station attendant is afraid of a guy with nubs? So yeah, I was called for jury duty at the end of June or middle of June. Probably not going to happen because thanks to Chinese aids, all the jury trials are suspended for now. What else did so we were talking about the room annoyance, because not the greatest situation where we are right now, but fuck it, it's in my house, and we hear the airplanes going over and whatnot. One of the biggest criticisms I've heard is no one knows what the fuck C-squared means. I mean, they can get it, that the Chris's, that makes a certain amount of sense.
Are we gonna tell this story?
I think I mean, third episodes. I think if we go any further, I mean, we're gonna lose any chance of telling the origin story. So
okay, this can't turn into another like hour long about the fucking cocaine and strippers Portland.
Well, I mean, to be honest, this is not as good of a story as that.
Right?
No, it was just
true. Maybe it won't go on that long.
No, because I mean, we were like good friends, before this,
right,
hanging out, quite often.
Yeah, we go back to high school,
right? But it wasn't until this episode where we became, the Chris's, where we became C-squared.
So, all started off. Fuck. I grew up around a family that we sell food, like we do caterings and events, weddings, company parties, and we also do craft shows, big events that. So
you guys did the catering thing in that part of it, but with all the shit you had, it was fucking easy money going to events. So you have all the shit there, so it's like, hey, we have nothing going on this weekend. Let's head to do an event.
That's it. We're up in this town up north.
About an hour. Would you say 45 minutes?
About an hour, 45 minutes to an hour north, kind of hillbilly country. I'm sure wherever you live, up north, down south, something, there's hillbilly country.
Right.
So we're up at this little craft show that for this town, it's the hit.
It's the was it just a craft show? Because I thought it was because they had rides and shit there. It seemed like it was their fucking
they had a carnival, but technically it's booked out as a craft fair.
Okay.
They do have a carnival the same weekend. So we're up north. We went up with another buddy of ours. It was all mayhem. That whole weekend started and then just went.
Well, because you went up there. You went up there. You went up there to work. With your family.
I was there to work.
I went up there for no fucking reason at all, and our other buddy was there, and it just so it was a little slower than it usually is. So we're just kind of...
No, it wasn't. We were busy. We just got fucked up anyway. There was all kinds of... Outside of what we had going on, there were people up there working, at least from my family, trying to make money, upset that we were...
Because I just remember...
chasing tail, getting wasted.
Well, I just remember, we were fucked up just wandering around the park. Running into all sorts of people. And so we run across a gentleman who... We'll probably bring this up a lot more, but was I'm sure every place has it, but, there's white trash, and then their kids, are, try to be, like the hood, Like, oh, I'm from the hood. No, you're not. You're from,
You're from a trailer park.
Right. And, and that's actually turned into a thing on YouTube, but we'll get into that later. But, anyway, we run into a couple of those guys, and so we start bullshit with them, And like, yeah, come hit us up, and like, oh, Chris, you guys are the Chris's, and we were,
Right.
running around.
2 guys named Chris.
Hey, we got to find the Chris's. These guys are having a good time. These guys got booze, back in the place. Let's go find the Chris's, And so our other buddy was up there, and he had a crush on one of the townies. And unfortunately, she did not reciprocate the way he wanted her to.
Did she reciprocate with you?
No.
As I remember?
No. I had a whole different... Because we ended up... she reciprocated with you like 2 weeks later. Like, she didn't reciprocate with any of us that weekend.
Okay. We'd met those girls a year before.
Right.
That's what, yeah. And so he went up there thinking that this year he was getting back with it. And
she's going to move her into town. And
yeah.
And so he's sitting on a fucking...
Save her from the white trash ghetto.
Right. Right. So he ends up sitting on a swing, basically like crying, like just your average, teenage, like love story movie. He's on the swing, like
real mopey fuck.
Ends up getting really, really drunk. I don't know how it happens, but there's like this little creek stream running through the park, which is why the park's there.
Mm-hmm.
Ends up losing his shoe in there, and we see him just floating down trying to catch his shoe. And because he was mopey, we left him with your brother. And we went and hung out with all these other people.
Oh, that was, man, lesbians get all the chicks.
That's right. Man, I wish I was a lesbian.
My brother was running after this girl he was hitting it, but she was also fucking a lesbian.
Well, I call her a lesbian.
Yeah.
It's just like small town fake lesbian,
sure. But either way, he was tired of losing his broads to lesbians. Like, my brother's a whole nother fuck. That's a whole nother episode.
That's an episode itself, yeah. But yeah, man, I wish I was a lesbian. Lesbians get all the chicks.
So yeah, we left those two
to their own devices.
That shit show did not need any help getting broadcast.
Right. So anyway, we're talking to the I don't know, small town crypt. I don't know what to call them.
They invited us to a party, so
he invited us to a party. It was the next night. He said, "Hey, we got this big party, all this weekend. I'll get you guys in, because apparently it's a thing, but I don't know." But 2 of the girls that he was hanging out with were going to a bonfire that night.
Yeah.
And so we're like, fuck yeah. And
now bonfires typically are like anything goes kind of occasion.
Well,
right?
and then
that's
what we
shit.
did. Well, this was the weekend we invented agave rain, where it was
also good for floating the river.
Right. It was absolutely perfect for what we were looking to do. What you do is you have a bottle of tequila and you have a 32 ounce. I don't know if they still have it or not, but
Gatorade Rain.
Rain, berry Gatorade Rain. And what you do is you take 2 shots of tequila and you chase it with that. And then you take the 32 ounce and you top it off with tequila. And it is the perfect mixture of, I can still taste the tequila, it's not hitting me, and I'm waking up tomorrow feeling all right because I got all the electrolytes in me. It's what plants crave. So this is that weekend we invented that.
Yeah.
And so
I'd forgotten that actually until
we ended up going to that. So we ended up going
to that bonfire
because the broads invited us, and we were going to go with the bar odds rather than the
fuck those dudes. But okay, first, do you remember that? Oh, what the fuck did we call that chick? Motor face. Oh my god.
Yeah.
She was there.
She wasn't quite a butterface. She was more than a butterface.
Yeah.
She was a motor face.
She was motor face.
Her face got run over by a car.
You had to have been there,
right? No, it's great. It's basically, it's not that big, It's not that big.
No, we're out at that bonfire. I remember being pretty faded. We were having a good time, but I didn't think that we were being like
Well, it all starts out.
Disproportionately loud.
It all starts out. You see a girl playing a bongo drum, around the fire. And you're like, yeah, this is my kind of shit. I know how to work these kind of broads. And so you walk up to her. It's like, hey, you're playing that well. And she looks at you, just, I'm deaf. And so being the kind of drunk that
I want to know that he's the one that started talking shit about it.
I lose my fucking mind. I am laughing my ass off. You're trying to oh, I'm sorry about this guy. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with him. But anyway, that was the start of this bonfire. And we ended up getting kicked out for being too loud, I think. Is that what happened?
Yeah, who the fuck's too loud at a bonfire?
Yeah, we were just, I
don't think we should go into too much more detail about the bonfire.
Oh, I mean, quite honestly, I don't remember much more detail. I remember me, being really drunk and almost falling into the lake because I couldn't see the lake. I remember, all sorts of other stuff going on.
Lakes are dark.
And I just remember, we're wondering if you guys would be willing to leave.
Real polite way to get kicked out.
Yeah, so the Chris's got kicked out of a bonfire, which is basically what agave rain get kicked out of a bonfire is where C squared was created, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to know the origin to us, it's that agave rain and get kicked out of a bonfire. So, there's plenty of, other stories, snowstorms, apartment parties. There's plenty of other stories that we'll get into later down the road. But yeah,
that fucking snowstorm, that's got to be brought up.
Yeah, but but that was probably the origin, right?
Yeah, the fucking bonfire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we were buddies, but we weren't we weren't C squared.
Well, that was the first time. I don't know. Was it before that people were like, "Hey, the Chris's!" I'm Chris, so he's Chris too.
Well, no, the Chris's started, and it was that day. We were the Chris's before we went to the bonfire, right. And then we went to and then we decided we were C squared.
Who would have thought we were friends so many years before somebody drew that conclusion that we were both called Chris.
Right. It took fucking Northern Washington to really Christ that. Oh, Farm to Market Road.
Farm to Market Road.
Just hung for shit.
I'm on Farm to Market Road. Okay, if you hit the market, you've gone too far. Turn around, go back the other way.
Oh, you need directions to the market? Okay, go down Farm to Market Road. If you hit the farm, turn around. You've gone the wrong way.
That's it.
I just remember being hungover as shit, just thinking that was the funniest thing in the world. So that's kind of the origin of us. Mm-hmm. So anyone who had that question before will no longer has that now.
Sorry we spent so long explaining why we're C squared.
I think it was worth it. So we'll get to our other stuff here coming up right now. All right, C took his diabetic piss, so we're good to go. Yeah,
fuck you.
We understand that this was not as good as the Portland story. We probably should have led with this, beforehand. But it's just you show up, you make a tequila drink, you invent a tequila drink, you show up to a bonfire, with a deaf chick playing a bongo drum.
Look, I just don't know how good I feel about us fucking making fun of a deaf chick on the show here.
What the fuck she's gonna do? As long as she's gonna hear this. So anyway.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
All right, so the joke was way too easy, but way too fucking funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So
that's where C squared started the momentum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it just continued through acid trips, through fucking road trips, through fucking just all sorts of shit.
Snow trips.
Yeah. So one thing,
write down that snow story though. That's one of these next show or the one after we gotta.
Yeah. Oh no, that's definitely coming up. But so what I wanted to talk to you about, because now I wanted your opinion on this.
Sure.
I'm driving home from the golf course the other day, and I'm going down kind of, it's kind of an outskirt road, but not really Sunset Highway, the area.
Yeah.
But so they have one of those crosswalks, where, which I think it's a very good idea, where you press the button so people are crossing, so they don't get hit or anything. So I'm driving back from that, and the light starts going off, so I stop, like a law-abiding gentleman I am this day, and what I see is a gentleman who is not crossing the street, but hitchhiking. And to make sure everyone stops to see him, he is hitting the button on the crosswalk sign. And then when people stop, he's putting out his thumb. Now, before we get too far into this, if he didn't look like as much of a lowlife as he did, I would have picked him up. I think I would have driven, I would have given him 2 hours.
Wait a minute. He looked like enough of a lowlife that you wouldn't have picked him up?
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
I'm gonna say that speaks volumes because
he
got to look pretty rough before
he had paint. Wouldn't have picked him up. He had paint on his pants and shoes, but they were different colors of paint.
Because wait a minute, I see paint. I see a guy that's probably employed. That's got to speak some.
But his shirt was
Somebody
new.
hired this guy.
His shirt was new, and like I said, there are different colors of paint. I'm just saying, if he looked like someone who didn't want my mouth, I would have, given him about 2 hours of a ride, So, yeah, but I mean, that's fucking ingenious. Just, okay, I'll stand at this right. Crosswalk, car's coming, hit the button, hey, look at me.
I gotta give him props for ingenuity. I'll tell you, I picked that guy up. That's me. But
yeah, I just,
I mean, I've hitchhiked before. So
of course you have. How many times would you say you've hitchhiked?
A few different times. The furthest was probably about 700 miles.
Christ,
give or take.
Jesus. Yeah. Now, was there a good reason for it? Or was it just like
had places to go, man? No, I was younger than I am now. I'm not going to say it was purely for the experience. I mean, I had to get to the next fish show. Not really, but kind of.
It was going to the next fish show with everything but fish.
Right.
It was all the same things you had, but without the concert.
I wish that I had more to say than that, but my stories hitchhiking were pretty boring. I mean, I didn't ever get fucked or robbed or beat up or
didn't get too fucked or
yeah, pretty much just got a ride.
Which is a shame. If you're gonna hitchhike 700 miles, you want a fucking story out of it. But I really, like I said, that what happened to hitchhiking? Why is hitchhiking what it is?
Well, that's a deep question, Chris. I think society as a whole has gotten a lot more afraid of itself. I don't think that it's more dangerous than it used to be. I just think people are a lot more afraid of each other than we used to be. Now, blame the media or blame, I don't know, apology culture or what have you. Everybody's always so outraged. We love to hear stories of anything negative so we can carry on about how fucking awful the world is.
I don't know. I think even before apology culture, I think hitchhiking's gotten a pretty bad name. A worse name than it deserves.
It's a lot harder to do now than... That's what I mean. I hear stories in the 70s and 80s and it was, it was a lot easier.
Right, yeah, you're sitting out there an hour or, less or anything like that.
Right.
I don't know. Could it be the whole thing, we don't hear any good news anymore? It's you only hear about the bad hitchhiking. You don't hear about the, you don't hear about the Oprah hitchhiking.
Tell me the last news story you heard about a hitchhiker, good or bad. You don't really hear anything about it anymore, do you?
That's kind of my point, but you don't see as many hitchhikers as you used to, so.
I still see a fair amount. I pick up hitchhikers usually when I see them. And even all the hitchhikers I've picked up, I've never had a bad experience. We had this one fucking guy. All right, I'm gonna tell this story. I'm with a friend of mine, and we were driving back to Washington. We were driving through Montana, so we're driving west through like butt fuck nowhere, Montana. Like I'm gonna say, we picked him up just outside of Billings.
Which side of Billings?
This side of Billings, the west side.
Yeah.
And so
you have Bozeman and then nothing for 4 hours.
Here's what it is I saw an abandoned rig on the side of the road. And then like 2 miles later, I see this guy walking on the street, right?
So
I see him walking on alongside of the freeway. So I pull over. I'm like, fuck that guy. And dude, it's cold. This is probably early February. So in the middle of fucking eastern Montana. So I said, man, this guy could die out here. Let's pull off and get him.
Obviously, his car broke down.
So we pull off. I said, hey, man, do you want to ride? And of course, he just jumps in. He didn't say much. And like as we started driving, we realized, I don't think this guy's like dealing with a full deck. Like, I think this guy's a couple French fries short of a Happy Meal.
7-minute abs.
So, and then I realized, I don't think that car we saw on the side of the road was his. And I'm talking to the guy that I had with me. I'm like, where the fuck do you think this guy came from? Now, it just so happens to be that he's in the back seat, and right behind him, there was a very large stash of cash that was in the car I was driving back with. And so my buddy's like, dude, we got to fucking get rid of it. Like, there's all this money back. This guy's a fucking weirdo. Like, why the fuck did you pick him up, you know? But it's fucking cold out. And I'm like, man, so far he hadn't...
Trying to be a citizen of the world,
He hadn't made any weird fucking moves. The guy was, I don't know, kind of red in the face. He had the look of an alcoholic. I thought maybe he's some drunk that, you know, whatever. So I said, hey, I tell you what, you know, I'll take you to Bozeman, man. Is that cool? Bozeman? He kind of nods like, Bozeman, you know that, right?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, all right. I said, yeah. So either way, we had a very awkward ride. I wasn't so awkward with my passenger. He was like, he's worried the whole time this guy's going to fucking lose
JC's over there like, hey, so what's up, bud?
yeah, you got this guy's all right. So we pulled off in Bozeman, went to kind of middle of town toward a gas station somewhere, dumped him and got the fuck out of there. And I can't tell you what happened, but I know he didn't die in the middle of the fucking freeway before then that day, so I feel good about that.
I mean, but you don't hear those stories. You hear a guy picks up hitchhiker, gets stabbed, and his car stolen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't hear stories like that. The closest, I don't know, I remember we went to the bar. This was probably a random Wednesday night.
Oh, fuck! This shit's good.
So we're sitting out.
We went to the best. We were at the fucking Top Hat. We met that guy.
Yeah,
which is a total dive. A friend of mine got in a shootout at that bar.
Right. So anyone in the Spokane area will know. But we show up to the Top Hat. I don't know why we were going to the Top Hat, but I mean, it was Wednesday. And it was close.
Might have been Tuesday. Who knows?
Yeah, but no, Tuesday we had a 50-cent beer place.
That's true.
So we go to the top. We go to the Top Hat, and I think you were probably smoking pot in the car, which is usually why I've never been. I'm not a huge pot smoker. Nothing against it or anything like that. But you're probably.
I'm not either, but I had my phases.
You're probably taking a couple puffs before we went in, just and all of a sudden, some drunk guy gets in the back of the car.
Just jumps right in.
Yeah, just all of a sudden the door opens. It's like, need a ride. And we look at each other like, okay. So we start driving. He's giving directions.
Well, no, because the bouncer came over and he's like, hey, do you want me to get this guy?
This is after we came back. Because we got all our drinks paid for the bouncer.
Yeah, remember the bouncer after that guy jumped in the car, he was like, hey, and you were like, nah, we'll give this guy a ride home. Like, it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
He jumped in the car, and the bouncer came over, like, ready to kick his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And
like, no, we got
we'll fucking drive him. He seemed nice enough. He was a good guy. And
it was like, a 5-minute drive or whatever. And, he's going back to his girlfriend's house. And
it was in a trailer. He said he gave us directions to a trailer park.
Right. But it was in the city trailer park, you know. So it was, I don't know if that's classy or not, but it was
trailer
within
neighborhood.
Right, it was within the city. And he was really in love with his girlfriend.
Can I say it? Can I say it? All right. This guy says, "Boys, I tell you what, my girl got a fat ass, but I don't give a fuck. I'll fuck her fat ass every night."
And he said that about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, he just kept saying it.
Yeah, I'll fuck her fat ass every night. So we drop him off. We're probably about 4 blocks away from the bar. And that's when we get back. And that's when the bouncer... See, this is where I thought you were going. The bouncer comes up to us like, yeah, sorry about your buddy. You know, he's just way too drunk, you know. And, you know, so we're like, yeah, we didn't even know the fucking guy. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just jumped into our car.
Yeah. Fucking got him home, though.
And we ended up having free drinks all night just for the simple fact of driving a random guy home from the bar.
It was, fuck, that was a good night. And you know, really, you got to feel good about yourself for getting that guy home.
He definitely needed to go home.
Yeah.
That was for damn sure. Like, he definitely shouldn't have been in public the way he was acting. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's. You dig the lager?
I want to give a shout. Yeah, the
Longboard,
the Longboard Island Lager. That's a ticket right there.
Do you like it more than the Golden Ale?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm a lager guy though.
Okay.
For sure.
Fair enough. So yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of that might be the closest I've come to picking up a hitchhiker. Minus having to drive Love Life's home when I was 17 after they bought me beer from the gas station, because anyone who's buying your beer at 17 is on foot.
It's nice of him to buy us beer. I just wish he put his dick back in his pants on the way home, you know?
Dude, was it you or was it Mike who was with me when the fucking guy got in with a probably an 8-inch blade knife that we didn't notice till he got in the car? He's like, so yeah, I'll buy you beer, you know.
That sounds like it was Mike.
Yeah, and he gets in the car.
I don't remember that.
And he's like, hey guys, I bought you beer. You mind giving me a ride home? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And all of a sudden, you see his fucking knife sitting there, and we're we are not in the happiest neighborhood. This is let's just
down
say
on the east side.
It was it was not a double-digit number. Let's just say that. If you're anywhere between 1st and 9th in this town, like, you're in trouble. Right. You know, so... But, I mean, he ended up being a nice guy and whatnot, but, you know, I mean, the closest I've come to picking up a hitchhiker is just that, you know, the guy who bought us, you know, beer, and the guy outside the bar who just jumped into the car.
Well, I think we've discussed this long enough to kind of make a ruling as far as C-Squared is concerned, is we endorse hitchhiking, give people rides, meet new fucking people. If not anything, it'll give you an interesting story to talk about.
Now, I will co-sign that, but here's the thing. I'm gonna talk to the hitchhikers.
Okay.
You gotta help us out a little bit, all right? You know what creepy looks like. Like, by this time, by your age now, as a kid, you saw what creepy looked like. Make sure you don't look like that. And if you do look like that, you're not getting picked up. But if you are a little more presentable, you know, you don't even have to, you know, brush your hair. Just, you know, make sure, you know, it's, you know.
You clearly haven't done that much meth. I think that's the point. If they knew they were creepy.
That's what I'm saying, though. Okay, if you're a meth head, you're not getting a fucking ride. That's what I'm saying. There it is. I will pick you up if you aren't currently on meth. And you haven't done meth
Wise
within a
words
year.
to live by,
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I'd be willing to, you know, I'd stake my reputation on that. I could have that on my tombstone. I wouldn't prefer it, but if someone said, you know...
If it's what you got stuck with, you could live with it. There's a lot of things I couldn't have on my tombstone, but that might be acceptable.
The problem is the things we couldn't have on our tombstone are probably the most appropriate. So, anyway, we're coming to the end of our show here. So,
fuck?
Yeah, we're getting. I mean, got a couple minutes. You have anything you wanted to add?
No.
You're just,
not really.
You have stuff you want to add, but it's an hour worth of shit.
That's stuff I want to fucking keep going.
Well, these cunts are gonna have to wait till next Tuesday.
I tell you what, cunts. Thanks for listening. And hey, we in fact, I think we hit a couple nerves today that we'll have a fucking funny show next week for you. I think our next one, it's gonna be good. We'll roll into some of the thunder. You know what I'm saying?
We're starting to. The wheels are starting. Our legs we're starting to get our sea legs. Yeah. It's like last week being able to tell the Portland story, like really kind of set us off in the right direction, and now we're kind of.
Hey, also, I think if you like it, or even if you don't, make sure leave us some feedback. We'd like to hear what we're doing well, what we're fucking up on.
Exactly. And
what are you into? Do you like when we say misogynistic, racist shit? To quote my girl, or
you could be misogynistic and racist. You don't have to be both at the same time. You can be a misogynist. You can be a racist, non-misogynist. Yeah, women.
It's like one gonna get you into heaven, but not both.
Women are equal as long as they're the same color as me. Like you don't. There's a way to be one and not the other. So no, yeah, hit us up. Twitter, Instagram. We're both big on. We're both checking that quite often. Mm-hmm. Again, want to give a shout out to Ryan Forney for hitting us up early, giving us the beer recommendation.
Yeah, that's cool as fuck. I hope you're good, man.
Right? Yeah, keep it going. Everyone who's texted me, thanks for looking out.
Dude, and shout out to if you don't know us and you're listening, fuck yeah.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah,
that's cool shit.
Yeah, so find us C Squared Hour. That is the letter C. The word squared hour, all one word. C Squared Hour at Twitter, at Instagram. Hit us up. Like, subscribe, follow, all that good shit wherever you get your podcasts. And we appreciate listening. Chris, you got anything to add?
No, man. Have a good week.
Yeah, you too. And we'll see you next Tuesday.